Hello and welcome back to Midnight Who Blog. My name is Patrick, and tonight I'm going to be reviewing World Enough and Time. It is Series 10, Episode 11 of Doctor Who, and if you have not seen it yet, I recommend watching it before you watch this, because there will likely be spoilers in this video. So, spoiler warning, that was it. If you decide to watch and get spoiled, it's your own fault. I take no blame. So, we get, at the beginning of the episode, Missy impersonating the Doctor, but she's not calling herself the Doctor, she's calling herself Doctor Who, claiming that's actually his name. They are on a ship that is 400 miles by 100 miles, and it is currently reversing away from a black hole. It is causing the time differential to be very slow-moving time at the end closest to the black hole, and very fast-moving at the opposite end. And right before the first commercial, Bill got a hole blasted through the center of her stomach. Get a flashback to when they're having the discussion about whether or not to have the test, to test Missy, because that's what this whole thing was a test to see if Missy had changed well enough to be left alone, sort of. There's dispute from Bill and Nardole because they don't think that Missy should be trusted. I don't blame them. Doctor is saying that Missy, or the Master in general, sorry for the crinkling paper, has been his oldest friend, and also the friend that is the only friend remotely like him, were the words he used. And Nardole takes a selfie with the Doctor because the Doctor's showing emotion, and that's a rare thing. Bill tries to make the Doctor promise that she won't die during the test, which, as of this point, she is still appearing to be dead. I mean, it's kind of hard to survive having a hole like the size of your head blasted through your chest and stomach. Doctor can't promise that. She makes him promise that he will do what he can to help her survival, which he does agree to that. And then gets out of flashback. The doctors come in with their completely covered head to toe, so you can't see any distinguishable features. And they take Bill to repair her, but they're not planning on bringing her back. And again, just before the commercial, they do something odd, and the Doctor breaks his sonic screwdriver in half. And then when she leaves, one of the people sitting in the chair tries to attack her from behind, but creepy guy Mr. Razor rescues her, so maybe he's a good guy. I still don't know at that point. He takes Bill to his office, where he shows that he's set up a camera watching the Doctor, Bill, Nardole, the Doctor, Nardole, Missy, and George. But it looks like it's a frozen screen because time is moving so slowly at the top compared to the bottom of the ship, and he makes it a point of saying that the ship has a very fast bottom, and then laughs to himself. That was kind of funny. So when the Doctor had broke his sonic earlier, I don't know if he broke the function of the rest of the sonic, but it has a marker in the middle of it, and he was using it to draw out his explanation of what was going on. That time was moving slower, closer to the black hole, and by extension it was moving much quicker at the other end of the ship. So Bill's got a metal heart in place of a real one now because, well, being blasted through the chest, you're not gonna have a heart anymore. So, creepy nurse witch lady says they didn't give her a name that I remember, so I'm just gonna call her witch lady or witch nurse. Yeah, witch nurse. That works. Tells her that the metal heart will not work outside the hospital, so she cannot leave and go back up to the top of the ship. Which is apparently true because she did try and go out later, and the heart kept giving her a warning to get back to the hospital because there was problems. The doctor demonstrates Venusian Aikido on George because he's being a pain and a nuisance. Mr. Razor betrays Bill by leading her back into the operating room, claiming he's taking her to the lifts, or the elevators. And they're making Cybermen is what they're doing. The people that were in the chairs were going through the process of becoming Cybermen against their will. Missy is put in charge of researching the ship when they get back because they have gone down to the bottom of the ship and there's a computer there, so they find out that the ship origin is not Earth as they had thought, but it's actually Mondas. And about that time, Mr. Razor comes out and is saying that basically he's a fan of Missy. Which makes sense a little bit later. More sense, anyway. So this is the episode that the Mondasian Cybermen are in, as we knew they were going to be in an episode before the series started, because they kind of gave that away. I'm trying to go in order, but I kind of want to skip this next one and put it to the end, because it's probably one of the more interesting and cool things that happened this episode. So, I will do that, and there's not a whole lot left anyway. So, closer to the end of it, we find out that Bill is now a Cyberman, a Mondasian Cyberman, and she is the one that the Doctor and Nardole have stumbled across when they were looking for Bill. They found her, just not in the way they were hoping to, I imagine. And the Operation Exodus that they've been talking about throughout the episode should actually be Operation Genesis, as in Genesis of the Cybermen, which is explained to us by the person that I had just skipped, where John Sim is back, and Mr. Razor is actually the Master in disguise. So, this whole time, he was right under my nose. All of our noses. Right there. And I didn't see him. I'm sure they might have probably had someone else playing him for most of the episode, and then just had John Sim come in at the end. And then ended without saying, but to be continued. Now, it didn't actually say to be continued, but it cut off on a cliffhanger, and it's going to be continued in next week's episode, which I believe this is a 2-part finale, so next week should be the last, if I am correct. We shall see. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed your day. I will see you in the next video. Later.